Okay, today we're going to do equations with variables on both sides. So we've been doing lots of equations, and this is kind of the last one for a while. We're going to get into word problems and things like that. But so for now, equations with variables on both sides. So the thing with these is that there's different ways to do it. Okay, you and your neighbor might solve it differently, and that's fine as long as you end up with the same answer. Okay, so if we have 6x plus 3 equals 8x minus 21. Now, there's nothing on the same side. Remember, if it's the same side of the equal sign, you combine like terms. If you move it to the other side, you have to do the opposite. So on here, we want to get our 6x and our 8x together, and we want to get our 3 and our negative 21 together. So it doesn't matter which one you do first. You can do whichever one you want first. You could subtract the 3. I'll show you that in a minute. I'll do this one twice. Okay, so 6x plus 3 equals 8x minus 21. Okay, so you can either subtract the 6x over here or subtract the 8x over there. It does not matter. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so we still have our 3, and then this becomes 2x, and then minus 21 right here. So now we got to get our 21 to the other side. So we add 21. Remember, you can only add like terms. So 24 equals 2x, right? And now it just becomes 24 equals 2. It just becomes a one-step equation. So x equals 12. Okay, now I'm going to show you. So if we go back up here and do 6x, you do not have to write this one down again. I just want to show you how you can do it differently. Okay, maybe I want to start with adding 21. Or by subtracting 3. You can start that way. Okay, so then we have 6x equals 8x minus 24. Okay, excuse me. And then now I need to subtract this 8x over here because we want the x on one side and the numbers, the constants on the other. So we have negative 2x equals negative 24. Okay, and then when we go to divide that, we'll still end up with positive 12 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, so there's lots of different ways, and you could have actually started by adding 21. There's lots of different ways to start it. Okay, let me get rid of these and go to our next one. Okay, all right, so our next problem, number 2. We're going to have to simplify a little bit here before we start. So we start here, okay, when we look on this side, we have to distribute that 2 through the parentheses. So we have 2c minus 12 equals 9c plus 2 over here. All right, now we have to get all the variables on one side. I could just say you need to get all the variables on one side to start if you want, but you don't have to do that. So this would be what? Negative 7c minus 12 equals 2. Again, you could have started by adding 12. It doesn't matter. Okay, so then we're going to add 12. So we have negative 7c equals 14. Divided by negative 7, so c equals negative 2. Okay, if it makes sense to you to just always get your variables together, then do that. Okay, now, I wonder if this next one, no, it doesn't, okay. So again, if something is on the same side of the equal sign, you just add or subtract it. But if we have to move it, you have to do the opposite. Okay, so we want to get our m's together. It doesn't make sense to move this 3m over here because we'll be left with nothing. So we subtract m. So we have negative 5 equals 2m. Divide by 2. It's okay that that's a fraction. M equals negative 5/2. I don't know if they want it to stay that way, or this could become negative 2.5. Either one, unless it tells you specifically. I don't care at this point. Okay. Let's do one more, and then I have a few different ones here. So is this number 4, I believe? I'm not sure. Okay, so let's say we have, this kind of takes you into geometry a little bit. Okay, so remember, if this was 11x plus 33, and this is 15x plus 5. Sorry, I ran out of room there. Okay, we have to remember that these are called vertical angles, so they're equal. Okay, so you can set this up as an equation and just set them equal to each other to find out what x is. So you would just set it up like this because we know that they're equal. Okay, and then from here, let's just move our variables. So, oops, 4x, I was going to put 3, plus 5, and then we're going to subtract 5 because we want, remember, our variables all by themselves. Okay, 33 minus 5 is 28 equals 4x, and then we're going to divide by 4. X equals 7. Now, if it just asks for what x is, then you're done. If it asks for the actual angle, then you'd have to plug x back in. So it'd be 11 times 7 plus 33. But right now, we're just finding out what x is, okay? All right, last two I'm going to show you. It's called, you have to either say if it's an identity or no solution. Okay, and I'll show you what that means. Okay, so the first one looks like this. So you have to simplify it over on this side first. Okay, and remember there's really a -1 right here. So that negative distributes through the parentheses, so you get 14 minus 2q minus 5 equals -2q plus 9. Now over here, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you have similar numbers, or I'm sorry, that's not what I meant, like terms on the same side of the equal sign, you combine them. You don't do the opposite unless you're moving it. So this just becomes 14 minus 5. So this becomes -2q plus 9. And this side over here is -2q plus 9. So I hope you notice that these are the same. If we were to solve this, we would add the 2q over. We would end up with 0 equals 0. But right here, you should be able to say, oh, these are the same. So this is called an identity. And what that means is no matter what number you put in for q, it's going to be true because the left side equals the right side. You could put 1,000,000 in for the right side for q, and it's going to be the same. All right, where this next example, you can probably guess what it's going to be, but a minus 4a equals 2a plus 1 minus 5a. Okay, so again, we have things to combine on the same side of the equal sign. So this is just 1a minus 4a. So -3a equals, and over here we have 2a minus 5a, which gives us -3a plus 1. Okay, so if we go to solve this for a, excuse me, we're going to add 3a, add 3a. Well, we end up with 0 equals 1. Okay, well that is not true, so you would say no solution. So what that means is no matter what number you put in for a, nothing's going to work. Up here you can put in any number for q and it would work. Okay, so that's on your homework, it's going to say, or on your assignment it's going to say, is it an identity or no solution? And that's what you figure out. If the one side equals the other, it's identity. And then if these two numbers aren't the same, then it's no solution. Okay? I think I have a little comic for you. There you go.